There we go. Go live. Awesome. Okay. And then that's there. And I can see the chat. So I think we're live here. So hopefully maybe someone can tell us in the chat if we are actually live. And I am muted here, so I'm not going to hear us with a delay. Cool. Hi. Okay.
Hey, how's it going?
How's it going? Oh, I wanted to show you. I'm wearing the earrings you made for me.
Oh, yay, they're so cute.
Oops, I messed them up. It's the bunny, my bunny.
Yeah.
I know everyone's
Love
probably
it.
here for the audio music stuff, but Gina makes some really cool jewelry. If you want to mention your website.
Custom pet jewelry if you want.
Yeah. Yeah. Was it Island of Small Things? Yeah.
And I'm running a Valentine's Day sale
Nice.
until the 14th, 20 off with love.
Well, perfect
So
timing.
there you
go.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, let's see. Cool. Someone said hi. Hi, Hannah. Sweet. So we are officially live. I love when someone comments
Excellent.
and then I know that we're live and I didn't mess it up.
It's always nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see. I'll introduce you in a second, but I wanted to mention the giveaway item really quickly before I forget. So I'm going to be doing a giveaway. I've been like workshopping how to do a giveaway recently because I just started doing them. So I think for this one, what we're going to do is, actually, maybe I'll mention what we're going to do later. I'll just show the item here. So I have the box here, but it's just some studio DJ headphones. The links in the description. It's really exciting. It comes with like a case and a bunch of different, some adapters and stuff. They're kind of more like DJ headphones, to be honest, but they advertise them as studio and DJ headphones. But they're kind of fun little pair of headphones. So that's my really exciting
Sweet
giveaway that we'll be doing later. Cool. So let's see. I'm going to set this down because I can't do two things at once. Okay. So you do, you're a session musician. You have your own projects that you work on as well, right? You do, what is it? Voice, flute, and saxophone. Is there anything else? Any other?
Rhythm guitar.
Rhythm guitar. Nice. Cool.
Yeah.
You want to tell us a little bit more about your work, like what that is and what you do?
Yeah, I love session work. It's so fun. It's so cool to go in and be able to like listen to someone's tune and find your place in it and find a way to like really serve the song.
Yeah.
There's something really like awesome to have those like parameters and be able to create something cool within that. So I do a lot of that on flute. I play regular flute, wooden flutes, alto flute, bass flute, whatever.
Nice.
Bass flute. And then I also play sax, of course, tenor primarily, but the other ones too. I just not quite as often. And also do a lot of like sometimes lead vocals. More often I'll do harmony vocals for people. It's really fun. Yeah, I just love the experience. Of course, it's great to go into the studio, but even lately, in this past year, I haven't been able to do that. It's been really nice to be able to like sit in my pajamas at my desk and like record parts for people's records and then like see them come out. And it's like, wow.
Nice.
And I've been doing like, it's been so cool to like connect with people all over the world. Literally, like I did some work for a band that's in Ireland and the album's being produced by an engineer in Missoula, Montana. And I'm in Virginia.
Nice.
Like it was just so cool to be part of that. And then I did a bunch of stuff for my friend's band. He's in Portugal right now.
Nice.
The band's all over Europe. And they're working on a new record too.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So that's the session music world side of things.
Would you say nowadays you're doing more stuff that, I mean, obviously because of COVID, more stuff's going to be remote, right? But it's like more stuff all the way around the world rather than just locally? Or I know you travel around a lot too. You're kind of bi-coastal, aren't you?
Yeah. I mean, lately, I mean, obviously this past year, not as much, but in previous years, but I've been I was doing remote work before. I'm doing way more, or like from like places that are far away from where I usually am, but now it's a lot more of that. It's so cool. It's really fun. It's kind of magical that it works that way, it's just to be able to I don't even need like a great quality track. I just need like a quick bounce to be able to like that I'm playing the right kind of thing. And
Yeah, like find your
It's,
place
you know,
in the
the
song.
right. The one thing that's harder about the remote thing is sometimes it just takes a little longer because you have so much back and forth. Like especially working on it's called Time
Mm-hmm.
for Tea. They're based in Seattle. um being able to like communicate. He was having me do full horn sections for like multiple tracks
Oh wow,
and like
nice.
get so like getting all those parts right, getting the vibe right, the articulations, the feel, everything,
Mm-hmm.
the layers of the horns. And you know, so like he would send me these messages that were like he would be singing along back and be like, right here, can you do this instead of this? And then so then I would go fix it. And you know, it was
Yeah.
just kind of, I'm glad we could make it work, but it was definitely, if I had been in the studio, it would have just been like immediate, you know. So there
Yeah.
is that.
That actually makes me feel a lot better because when we worked together, that was like over a year ago now. And so with
Yeah.
that album, what happened was we were going to do a vocal session and it was going to be like the week after the first shutdown. And so
Oh
then
my
we like
gosh.
that got
Yeah.
put on hold for like months and then we finally did the vocal session and then we finished the mix now and now it's at the mastering engineer, but it like took forever with all the
Awesome.
back and forth that we did. But it's cuz we
Yeah.
wanted to get it good, so you know, and it's hard to do that in a timely manner when you're doing remote work, I think.
Yeah, you have to have it. I always try to like just really when I'm working on someone's tune, I just really focus on it, and that's like my main thing. Whatever
Yeah.
days I'm working on it, and that way I could just you know, as long as that person is good at communicating, we can just really just like nail it as if we were in person.
Yeah.
I feel like that works better because then you don't like get out of the song and then you have to get back into the song because you worked on something else that's really different or whatever. It's kind of nice just to like
Yeah.
really be able to separate like that.
Yeah, just kind of focus and then kind of sit there and wait kind of thing between. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, just like, you know, like I just like stay really on top of it when I'm working on a specific tune. And then, yeah, hopefully the whoever I'm writing for or playing for is also checking their texts regularly
Yeah.
to like get back and with comments. And then I can just keep going and I don't have to change my mic setup every single time and all
Yeah.
of that. So.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of mic setups, what kind of setups do you like to do for your various instruments?
So I love, actually I have it right here. This is a clip-on mic for my flute. It's a
Oh,
mini
cool.
condenser made by
Yeah, nice.
Audix, and
Awesome.
it's amazing. It's so great. It's like it. I started using this mic, I don't know, almost 10 years ago now for live stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and there are a couple times where I was playing in someone's like home studio and they just didn't have any good flute mics, and I was like, well, I have this mic that I like. It really captures my natural sound in a way
Mm-hmm.
that like I think a lot of times miking flutes can be weird because it's so easy to go cheesy with it. But I just want like that close, clear sound. You know, I want to
Yeah.
sound like how I sound. And then anything we do to the flute after the fact, you want to put a phaser on it, cool, whatever. But
Yeah.
like you're working from like the natural, clean sound. And then you
Yeah.
can get creative with it. Um, I would use that. And then I just started loving how it sounded, like the clarity and precision of that mic. So I started using a lot like when I'm in the studio with my funk band, Choose Your Own Adventure, I use that mic in the studio. Like and
Mm-hmm.
like the engineer we always work with, he's like, yeah, I love you how your flute sounds to that mic. You know, like he's got amazing mics, but that's the one I end up using,
Yeah.
just because it's great. So I use that on saxophone. I've been using a Sennheiser 421, especially for
Mm-hmm.
tenor,
Nice.
just because you know it gets that captures the low end really well.
Yeah. I remember we
Um,
used that on the
and then
sax when you were in the studio and you were talking to me about it. And
yeah,
that's like one of the things is I know you're so like active and into this stuff. And that's part of why I thought it'd be fun to have you on to chat because I know you're like actually into that stuff. So,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's cool. I mean, I don't necessarily have the funding to get a Neumann or anything like that, but like it's fun to experiment and like find different ways to capture the sound. I do have an Audix clip on for my sax as well, but I
Oh,
don't love
cool.
it. I've never loved that mic.
Huh.
Um, they gave it to me when they brought me on as an artist for their flute mics,
Mm-hmm.
um, and it's great. And I'm super thankful for it. But like it just I feel like it's really bright and it
Mm.
harsh.
Yeah.
And that's like the opposite of the sound I want on the saxophone. And the Sennheiser is great. I also love using it for my vocals sometimes, especially live. But it's such a cool mic. Like it's
Yeah.
so weird. And I used it to mic a Princeton Reverb the other day for recording.
Oh,
So like
cool.
so versatile, you know?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love that. That's great. People are saying hi in the chat. Hi T. Hi that guy. Hi David Palmer. Hi Julian. And Michael. Cool. I'm trying to like give people more shout outs and say hi because I want it to be like interactive. I'm just like workshopping this whole live stream thing. Yeah, if anyone has questions, let us know.
Love it.
Let's see. Oh, so I wanted to ask you, let's see. What are your thoughts? Did you go to school for all this, or what was your path to get here?
So I majored in music at a liberal arts school, and my focus was in jazz and composition.
Awesome.
I grew up playing jazz, so it's kind of something I from like a young age, and just was always very comfortable in that world of improvising and writing, composing. And I since then have studied with a lot of great teachers, but I haven't done like an organized master's program. I'm actually like gearing up to apply for those for next year.
Nice.
But just because I feel like it would be really nice to have that experience. And there's a lot of stuff maybe that I just, have missed in some way that like, because I didn't was in jazz studies like everybody else in the world, everyone else in my world. But I've been studying with this great sax player, Jaleel Shah. I've been doing remote lessons with him. He's amazing. He teaches at Manhattan School of Music. Definitely someone I've learned a lot just from a few lessons with him. Definitely kind of helping guide my practicing. And pre-COVID, performing and recording so much, like I feel like my practice regimen sort of slipped a bit because I was just like already playing like sometimes hours a day, and it was just like I just I couldn't do anymore. It felt and so it's been cool. Cool, I guess, like to have that time and space to focus on it and like kind of get back to some things that I had started working on and maybe left off because it wasn't what I was being paid to perform, and so
I have like the audio engineer version of that. There were definitely things that I wanted to get around to doing or learning, and I like just never had the time because I was doing these crazy long days before COVID, and then COVID hit and I kind of reduced down to like a normal business day a little bit. And I've been able to do more of that stuff, which is
amazing.
Cool. Yeah. I feel like also you have to, if you're doing something like this, especially something like really competitive, like music or art of some sort, it's like you have to always be learning, I think. And it's like whatever that means, maybe that's formal, maybe it's like less formal stuff, but I feel like you have to always be learning.
Totally. Yeah, I think that that the jazz school thing is it can be really useful. I mean, obviously I haven't gone yet, but like just from like the experiences of a lot of my friends and colleagues, I get like there is something that you gain from having focused time and that environment, it seems, but we'll see if it's in real life. I mean, I feel like I get that anyway to some extent just because of the community people I spend time with, but like there's a little like it puts the pressure on a little bit, like to have that.
And from a different angle, I think too. Like there's a lot of learning on the job, but then academic learning is a little different.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Totally. I did the same thing. I did a liberal arts 4-year thing. So I don't know. But I know plenty of people don't do the formal education thing and they do great. So
yeah.
Yeah,
it's kind of I don't know. It seems like a lot of my West Coast friends are more like their experience comes from just like being on the job, but seeing my East Coast friends, I don't know if it's the proximity to New York of the established like higher education jazz stuff. And I don't just play jazz, but that's kind of the root of what a lot of what I do, and the chops I got from studying jazz applies to everything. I've been recording a lot with Emancipator, so that's like down-tempo electronica, right? Nice, so that's like world. Like there's like one chord for the entire song. It's about like creating a soundscape rather than like playing the
Yeah,
changes, you know,
that's awesome.
and then working along with this artist in Richmond, Virginia, McKinley Dixon, and that's about like rhythm. The main focus there. It's about creating rhythmic spaces or lush like backgrounds for him
Nice.
to wrap up. So it's like it's cool. It's cool to like get out of that and like I guess just explore other genres. I learned so much from other genres.
Oh yeah.
It makes me a better jazz player, and jazz makes me a better whatever player. So
Yeah, I'm a huge
thanks.
fan of the idea of being well-rounded and not just trying to like this is what I do and this is all I do type of thing. So I like
Right.
that. I like that
Yeah.
attitude.
That's
Yeah. That's interesting though, the thing you said about like East Coast versus West Coast because like I grew up on the East Coast too, and I think there is like some of a I never thought about it that way, but there's kind of is a cultural thing where New York is a little more like I don't know if it's traditional is the right word, but there's something the attitude's a little different about things, I think, which is interesting. I never thought about it
yeah.
that
I
way.
think that part of it, you know, like I think the part of it has the fact that like if you're in LA or San Diego or like Southern California in general, like I think that like you there's so much like industry work, right? In that world, it doesn't matter if you have a master's degree in whatever, right? If you can do the job and you're a good worker and all that, like that, and you have the connections, of course.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what, and I think on the East Coast, there's like less of that industry and more like academic institutions and like people. So you might
yeah.
not
It's more like you join
film
a some
scoring
kind
and
of
stuff
company or
might
something.
yeah, or you try to go into, you know, academia or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
But I don't know, of course, like super broad strokes and isn't true for a
yeah.
lot of people, but, uh, you
And there are
know,
schools in LA, and it's I don't know, but
yeah. UCLA is like, that's one of the top jazz programs in the country.
yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I went through the same thing though. I thought about applying to grad school, and then I kind of trailed off on it. But I like got the like what is it, the GRE books and everything, and I was like, I was ready for it. And then I was
Hmm.
like, meh, I don't know. Maybe I'll pick it
Yeah.
back up, but who knows?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like yeah, you have to want to really, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know. Um, I've
Yeah.
been getting into to those Charlie Parker transcriptions with the same thing in mind. Like, I gotta get into this and dig into
Yeah.
it. And
Yeah. T in the chat wants to know if you work from full charts or jazz notation, or does it vary?
it depends. A lot of times people ask my own parts for tunes. They'll say I want this vibe or here's a root that I want to
Yeah.
or but it'll be to me to sort of create part. Other people will just yes send me regular notation
Uh huh.
because most of the time I'm recording flute and sax. I'm not often like in charge of the whole production of the. Sometimes I have been, but for the most part, I'm doing my own, like I'm just doing the lead part on something, and so or horn lines, and then you know regular notation's cool. Jazz charts are cool. I'm kind of flexible. I mean, as a flute player, you can't start playing flute without having to do the classical thing, and I did it through high school. I had like a but at the same time, I was learning jazz from my dad and from just other people who were around, in the house and stuff. But like, there was a moment I was playing like honors ensemble thing, and
Yeah.
it was at this big convention, like you
Nice.
do, um, and the, they took us all to this like master class with this girl who she's like 15 at Eastman and like amazing, whatever she was. But like halfway through the concert, I remember just being like, I do not want this to be my life.
Oh no.
Like this is very good, but this is not. And then it was cool because I had already gotten an opportunity to explore other kinds of music. And I feel like flute players in general, young flute players don't get that. And I was really lucky
Yeah.
to have that like insight, and so that it can be more than just playing Mozart, which is
Yeah.
like I was so done with by the
Yeah.
time I was like 16 or whatever.
I,
And of course, you never can be done with Mozart, but I knew that wasn't my professional passion at that
right.
age.
Yeah. And like at that age, you're into other stuff. I don't know. That's cool though, because I
Yeah.
I really feel that because I played flute too.
Yes.
And I didn't keep doing it, you know? Like I got into like the I don't know, like punk and metal and stuff, and then I was like I want to do audio, you know, and um
Mm-hmm.
but I yeah, and I never I kind of stopped playing flute after high school, and
Mm.
there are so many cool things I could have done with it, and now I don't even know if I can still play it. I don't know.
You should pick it back up.
Yeah, I still have my nice one. I still have the nice one.
Awesome.
And yeah, I've like picked it up a few times over the years and been like, oh wow, I still remember some of these finger patterns for the different notes, but like I
Yeah.
nowhere close to what I used to be able to do. So
I
yeah,
bet it wouldn't take too long for you to pick it back up. Like
probably
I think
yeah,
it's in there. It's
yeah,
also it's all the subconscious.
yeah. I'll never get to
But you
like
know, the
your
nice
level
thing
though.
I don't know. It depends. It's all about hours put in, right? Like
Yeah, sure,
different
yeah,
if you just play.
yeah. Just
um,
drop everything.
right. But one of I think the cool things about studying classical is that it forced me to be a really, really good reader, which is
Mm.
awesome to be able to go into the studio and just read down whatever part,
Yes. Yeah.
improvise a part. It makes you more versatile, and
Yeah.
people
And especially
appreciate
like
that.
in the audio world, there are a lot of people that don't know how to read music at all, like at all.
Yeah.
And it's like that people get
Wow.
away with it, and that's cool. And I don't know, that sounded harsher than I think I meant it, but like it's an
It's
advantage then if you
cool.
do know how to read music, for sure. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's a different job though, so there's that. You don't need to know how to read music as much when you're doing audio. That guy wants
Yeah.
to know if we've worked together before and how do we connect. Yes. So a band that I was working with brought Gina in for a session, and you did what was it, saxophone and then backing vocals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's how we met. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that was fun. We did that drunk vocal thing, which was a lot of fun.
Oh
Do you
yeah, that
remember
was
that?
crazy. That was yes. That was some intense producing going on in there in the studio. Like that was like so different from like how I run sessions and most of the sessions that I play on. Like
Hmm.
it was just like there were a lot of rules that she had to follow for it. It was interesting.
It was like a
But it's
game
cool. It
almost,
seemed to
though.
work.
Yeah, yeah. He was running it
Yeah.
almost like a game. Yeah. Or not. I don't know if game's
Yeah.
the right word, but yeah.
But like she didn't know what was coming next. And there
Hmm.
like,
Yeah.
you know, like it was like anything he could have asked for anything and it would have yeah. But
Yeah.
that drunk vocal thing was really funny.
That was
Did
fun.
anything from that
Oh,
take
yeah.
like get used
Oh
or
yeah.
oh
So
cool.
I took the drunk vocal track, and I did this with some of the backing vocal stuff too, but I added a ton of effects to it. And then I had it
Mm-hmm.
like think about like kind of longer delays and then having them come in like after the main vocal line type of stuff. And then
Oh
really
cool.
subtle in
Yeah.
the mix, like kind of going back and forth around like after. I don't know how to describe things. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I
I
think
did
I
like
get
some
it, yeah.
sound designy stuff with it basically is what I did. Like really low in the
Cool. Oh, I
mix.
can't wait to hear it.
It
I'm
was
so
it was a lot
excited.
of fun. They really let me go wild with the sound design stuff, so I'm like
That's
pretty
awesome.
excited about it. And then they got that song where you played saxophone. They got Dave Depper to do the Rhodes from Death Cab for Cutie.
Oh cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Which I'm like,
Wow.
it's exciting.
Wild.
Um, Mike popped in from Arctic Guitar. I don't know if he's still here though. He had said he had to go. Let's see. I'm looking at the chat. I don't know if you can see the chat right now.
Not on the YouTube
Yeah.
page.
Um, cool. Yeah. Someone asked if we were planning on working together again. That'd be cool. I don't know.
Yeah, let's do it.
Sweet. You need some weird sound design on your music, you let me know.
Oh my gosh, that could be super
Just
cool,
fun.
actually.
That would be fun.
I've been trying to like, I really want to. So I like working with people like Emancipator, like everything is Ableton, right? Like that
Yeah.
whole world is like all Ableton. And
Yeah.
I'm not, I use Logic, right? That's what I know. That's what I learned in school. That's what I used forever.
Yeah.
And it's really sort of intuitive for me, you know, at this point to a certain extent. But like Ableton had like I got like what was it called, an MPC, like a drum pad kind of
Yeah.
thing, just to start experimenting. And it comes with Ableton Light, and I've like tried, and it's really like I think I need to take some classes on it,
Oh,
or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
Like
Or just watch
it's
a
like a whole
shitload of
other
YouTube
world,
videos. Like,
right? Is exactly. And I
Yeah.
just haven't put the time in yet. But there's so much in that world of like producing tracks and stuff that I feel like I could really benefit
Yeah.
understanding more. Um, Especially, the more that we're writing and recording by ourselves. Hopefully it won't
Yeah.
be like this for much longer. Cause like as even like my funk band record like a jazz project, like we record live,
Yeah.
isolated, but like
Right.
live. And then you have that interaction and the excitement of this comes from that feeling more
Yeah.
than, it's
You
much
have to
harder to
play off each
recreate that.
other.
Yeah. And I think that
Yeah.
like to kind of recreate some of that excitement, knowing how to use the technology could really
Yeah.
be cool.
Yeah.
But
It's cool how
yeah.
much we can do
Yeah.
remotely, but I feel like music's still such a social thing that it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
What was that tool you
Yeah.
mentioned earlier about it wasn't live that you mentioned it,
Yeah.
but
It's called Jack Trip,
Jack Trip.
JACKTRIP. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it was developed by someone at Stanford like ago. So it's
Cool.
not a new technology, but it's just like really complicated to get it set up properly.
Mm-hmm.
But it cancels the latency. So you can get down to 5 milliseconds of latency
Mm-hmm.
if you're within like a few hundred miles of the
Okay.
person you're playing with. And we got it working today. So like that
So
was
cool.
amazing. I jammed a bunch of standards. Like
Nice.
yes, 200 miles apart about.
That's really cool. That sounds like a lot
Yeah.
of fun.
But I think it was like 20 hours of setup for like 20 minutes of playing. It was like a
Hopefully it
lot.
gets easier. Like the first time I tried to
I
set up
hope
this
so.
live stream, it took an embarrassing amount of time to get it all working like properly how I wanted it to work. So
Yeah, it's
maybe it'll get
crazy. I've
easier.
been doing, fingers crossed. I've been
Yeah.
doing a weekly live stream called Tuesday Trades,
Nice.
where I have other songwriters and composers on, and we just trade tunes back and forth and
Mm-hmm.
talk about whatever,
Nice.
talk about the writing process, or the or life, or whatever we're working on in the moment. And we do split screen to Facebook and Instagram. So
Mm-hmm.
like the amount
Wow.
of getting like non tech savvy musicians to get it all together. Like I send like paragraphs of setup to people before, and like I think people just don't read it. But it'll be like 10 minutes until like start time, and
Yep.
they won't have any of the stuff. It's always an adventure. I
Yep.
mean, every week there's something new, and sometimes it's my end, and sometimes it's my guest's end, and it just kind of you roll with it.
That sounds fun though.
It's
That's
cool.
I like
It's been
the
fun.
10 minutes ahead of time and then they realize they don't have it figured out. that
Yep.
sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you do? Like, how do you hustle? Like, do you have any hustle advice for people? I feel like you're really good at your hustle.
Hmm. Well, some of it is just like pre-COVID, just being out there and like
Yeah.
just playing with people and talking to people. And I really like people. So,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not super shy, or like
Yeah.
I'm extrovert would be the
Yeah.
way to describe it. And so like I want to go to a gym. I want to talk to people. I want to become friends and create cool music together and make
Yeah.
stuff happen. And I think having that attitude just sort of makes things more
Yeah.
available. And getting started, a lot of times I would just say, hey, I think this track could use some flute. What do you think?
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to ask, right? Like
Oh,
sometimes,
that's a good point.
like someone just hasn't thought about it, and there's a limit to that, right? Like you don't want to be too obnoxious about it, but if you really think that you have a cool idea, I think sharing that and being straightforward about it and saying, hey, no stress if you don't want to do this, but let me know what you think about this idea.
Yeah.
Or, do you need a soloist for the show or whatever? I think it's just a matter of like a lot of people and doing a great job on a bunch of different session work things. Like when I first started spending more time in California, my idea was that like I wanted to back off on live shows and do more session work, and it didn't really happen while I just ended up touring a ton, and like that was great. But like I think over the pandemic, like doing these sessions and then posting them, sharing them, that's been really great. And then when someone's like, I need a horn section, album, oh, I can just hire Gina and she'll do a whole horn section.
Yeah.
I saw that cool Instagram video that she posted or whatever. I
Right.
think some of it is just like letting people know what you're doing and what cool
Yeah.
stuff is happening. And
Putting it
so
out
like,
there.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
some of it. And I know that like we tend to be like, as artists, like we only want to put something that's perfect out, or we get shy about stuff, or like
Right.
we don't want to be like, oh, here's another selfie or whatever, but like
Yeah.
to a certain extent, like you share what you're up to, and if it's cool, people will dig it.
Yeah. I think it's so scary though. It's like it's scary to put yourself out there. And it's scary to
Yeah.
be for some people it's scary to be extroverted. Like I don't know, I get kind of shy sometimes and I just remember when you came into the studio, you were like, "Hi, what's up? Can we talk about the microphones? What do we have? This is so cool!" And you're like just so friendly and like, I don't know. It's hard to be like that when it's easy when it's someone like you. Like for me, I guess I'm less extroverted, but it's easy when it's like someone like you comes in and is friendly and chatty, and then you're just like, all right, let's do this. But it's hard to be the one initiating, I think.
Yeah, I get that. I totally get that. Yeah, I don't know. I think that definitely that personal ease, that like that my personality makes it easier to like just the way
Yeah.
I don't know, like I guess I'm not shy about,
Yeah.
I'm not being very articulate about this, but like I just love people. I just want to
Yeah.
know and hang out and get to know people, and like I think it's, with practice too, that's something I know that like for some people it's super exhausting to like to make those connections. It's like you get your energy from like being alone, and it's exhausting to be with people. And for me, it's the opposite. Like I get
Yeah.
sometimes like really like I've been doing regular like Zoom calls with tons of different people just because like my college roommates and like some friends, music friends and whatever, like regular hangs, like
Yeah.
coffee or happy hours or whatever. As much as we're all tired of like being in front of the computer, like it's a way for me to like keep my energy up and
Yeah.
stay inspired by like sort of regular connection through my laptop
Yeah.
to the rest of the world.
It's like a substitute for social interaction.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, it's still social
I'm just a Zoom
interaction.
junkie.
It's still social
Yeah.
interaction. Yeah. Let's see. Hannah wants to know, other than flute, do you have a favorite classical instrument? She says, I've always liked the sound of the piano and the cello to listen to.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, I think it depends on the piece, right? Like, and the role of the instrument. I
Yeah.
love like orchestrated Debussy. That's so beautiful. The richness of those. I guess I don't listen to a lot of solo classical music, so like I always think about like the full orchestral arrangement. So I think more in terms of like the composer, but like Debussy, love Rimsky-Korsakov, and Ravel. This is like a lot of like late 19th century, early 20th century. That's kind of like my world in that. But
there's like a certain emotion to that kind of music, I think. It's
yeah,
cool.
yeah, I think there's a lot of energy in
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I love trumpet, but I like when I think about the trumpet that I love the most, I'm thinking like Afro-Cuban, like that stuff. I
Cool.
love that.
Nice.
Classical, and yeah, I mean full string sections, like there's such a lushness. That's not a
Yeah.
word, but to that. That's a hard question.
Yeah. It's like when the music surrounds you. That's what I
Yeah.
love.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had another question for you, I think. Let's see. Oh, do you do any like fun ear training or anything like that? Like, what do you do to kind of maintain your? I don't know. I don't know how to word a question. Oh no, I screwed it up. Do you know what
No,
I'm
you're
saying?
good. Yeah, totally. So I just downloaded this app called Harmony Cloud that's like ear training in terms of
Okay.
like hearing changes, and I haven't really dug into it that much yet.
Okay.
But it seems pretty cool.
I'm writing it down.
When Yeah, it's Jaleel Shaw, my teacher, my
Okay.
jazz teacher, recommended it to me. Apparently, I think the previous director of music jazz studies or something at MSM developed it, and it's very cool. He, I do a lot of work. So lately what I've been doing, as far as it's not really ear training, but it's like thinking about changes, is I've been taking a tune like a standard and playing a bass line of the tune on my flute, just like really getting inside the changes. And I found that's been really, really helpful for like thinking about the whole harmonic flow, the whole architecture of the tune. I think as a horn player, I get really caught up in just, first of all, leaning on my ears too much. And second, just thinking about the melody, and not digging into the changes as much. And I feel like this has really helped me like play across changes, make like longer lines, create longer lines that like go across complex chord progressions.
That's cool. So it's like you're meditating on the underlying structure kind of thing?
Exactly. Yeah. So like sometimes I'll have a backing track. Sometimes I'll just do it to like a metronome or whatever, or like a drum loop, and just like I'll play the changes, but I'll just like outline either when I first start, I'll just arpeggiate the chords. I'll memorize them, arpeggiate them, and then I'll try and play more interesting rhythmic bass lines to them.
That's cool. People are talking about different ear training programs now in the chat. Let's see.
Cool.
Yeah. I started using Sound Gym came out with a Tone Gym. I started using that. And I'm so rusty on like the musical ear training. I've gotten like really focused on the audio stuff, like hearing compression, hearing EQs, like knowing what frequency something is. And I've gotten like so rusty on the musical stuff. It's embarrassing.
Oh man.
It's so bad.
That's odd. That sounds like a really cool project though to work on.
Yeah, every day I've been trying to do a little bit. So it's happening. It's coming back to me. Like I did okay in school. So I don't know. I was never great at it, but I did okay. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. No, that's great. I love it. That's really cool. I think one thing this is again, just like, I don't know, like jazz bro basics here, but like, like transcriptions, I think are the best ear training, because you get so much vocabulary and you really get to understand how musicians you really respect are interpreting the changes.
Yeah.
That's been cool and so tedious. And like, I have these moments where I'm like, I'm never going to figure out this line. And then I do. And then It's like, oh, of course it's that. What else could it be? Like, I don't know. It's funny. And then other times I'm like, oh, I think that was a mistake. Like sometimes I'll be listening to a solo and I'll be like getting inside and I'll be like, why did they play that note there? That's actually not a great choice. Like, like it's funny to think about like your heroes, when they flubbed a change or something.
Yeah, that's wild.
It happens occasionally.
Wow. Huh. Yeah, I've had that happen with like audio stuff. Like there's a song that I've been listening to it for years, and I heard I don't know how you describe it. It's like the little speaker pop type of thing that happens when someone like misses a fade and it's at a non-zero point on the waveform. Like that tiny little.
Yeah.
And I heard it. I got new monitors recently, and I heard it, and I was like, it's buried in funny. There, And I hadn't heard it before. I was like really proud of myself that I heard it, but I was also like, oh, other people are human too.
Yeah, exactly. This isn't always perfect. I remember my first solo album I did. I didn't know what I was doing. I had never spent time in a real studio. So like the first recording I did was like in the basement of the music building, like in my college. My friend Constance and I just like used someone's shitty borrowed laptop that had some kind of audio editing. Like, I don't know why we didn't, I guess this was like before. So we had a great studio in the basement of the library, but I don't think it existed at this point yet. Like, I think it got built the next year. So because I learned Logic in school, but like, I think it was the next year. Yeah. Anyway, a bunch of my friends were graduating. I went to William and Mary.
Okay. I went to Connecticut
in Virginia,
College.
Williamsburg.
Cool.
Oh, cool. When did you graduate?
2010. I was supposed to graduate in 2009, but I took a year off.
Let me think. Did you know someone named Brenna Moeller?
Oh,
she's a piano player.
I don't know.
She would have been a couple years older.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
she's one of my best friends.
Cool.
But she went to
nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's really funny. Okay, sorry. Sidebar. But anyway, yeah, we recorded. We had like two borrowed mics, someone's borrowed laptop. We didn't know what we were doing, and it was really
Yeah.
great. Came together, and I don't play that album for anyone really, but like I'm really happy it exists and that I got to capture that moment. And that's kind of
Yeah.
a lot of how I think about recording, is like that snapshot quality of
Yeah.
it. Which I wasn't in that space when I recorded my first solo album the first time I really worked in a professional studio.
Mm-hmm.
And it took forever, and I was like agonizing over every detail.
Aw.
And I think the result was an album that like sounds good, like and clean, but it doesn't have like that soul to it that like
Mm-hmm.
kind of want, because I was like, I so much. I was like, oh, that's not the perfect singer, that's not the perfect vowel sound on that, or I wanted,
Right.
and so it is what it is. Learned a lot from it. But there was one moment when I was like listening to the final masters, like for the thousandth time, and I noticed one of those pops. I was
Yeah.
like listening to or something, and I texted the engineer, and I think he was so tired of me by this point.
Oh no.
And like and he was like, I don't know, I checked for all that, and I was like, no, listen, and he did, and it was there.
Oh
So
my
like,
gosh.
it was just like
Did he change it for you?
not crazy. He did. He
Oh,
did.
good.
It was cool.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, yeah, that's the thing is people get, I like the snapshot concept because otherwise it's like people can just obsess over an album forever and then they never release
Mm-hmm.
anything. And it's,
Right. And it gets so tortured too, I think,
yeah,
if it is released.
it gets like
You feel
overworked
that.
and then it doesn't have the same. Yeah. And like, I know a lot of things are like super polished nowadays, but if you listen to especially like older music, there's some things that you would consider a mistake now, or like, notes a little off
Right.
or whatever. And it's like,
Yeah.
most people don't care. It's like how it feels when you hear it, it's not the
That's the
technical
most important.
perfection. And it's
Yeah.
like all art, it's like, I feel like what one of the things that people tend to be drawn to in art is how it's imperfect. It's
Mhm.
like, I don't know.
The human quality of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I don't know.
totally.
David Palmer says, Jeepers, I can relate to that, agonizing over every tiny detail only to have the end result be, well, on to the next one.
Yep.
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 Yeah.
Oh man.
Uh,
The
Matt,
way my funk band oh, sorry, go.
oh, no, I was just going to, my friend Matt Mitchell from college is in the chat too. He said, woo, Connecticut College. What up? What were you saying?
I was just the way my funk band does recording. We've released 3 like EPs, I guess, at this point,
Mm-hmm.
and we've been calling them 5-hour funk records. So
Nice.
we'll just go into the studio, record like 5 tracks.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah.
Few takes of each one, our favorite, and just that, and then mix remotely. And it's just like everyone's so busy and play so many bands, and is all over the place now. Right? We haven't since we've done some like video collabs. We haven't done any like studio work
Mm-hmm.
since we recorded our most recent album, Ruse in Space,
Nice.
in like February, like a week before it shut down. Like
Oh,
it was
wow. That's good
like
timing.
the moment. And then we released it in August. We kept waiting to be able to tour it and do
Yeah.
big release party, but like let's just get this out.
Yeah.
And yeah, so anyway, I love that sort of in the moment. I feel like you really get that on
Yeah.
those albums. It feels like you're at a show, but with like clean audio rather than like
Nice.
crappy audio. So it's
It's got
cool.
the energy.
And actually, right, exactly. And we're gonna release this spring. We're releasing a full version of the EP remixed. So we're working with 5
cool.
different producers, a different one on each track.
Nice.
And we've gotten 2 of them back so far, and it is so cool. Like it was
Yeah.
just like pretty cool to hear these other people's takes on these tunes. And like we gave them free reign. We said, we asked you to do
That's
this
so
because we
cool.
love your voice as a producer. And so like,
That's
it's
so
been neat.
cool. I feel like it's always so interesting to see how people can take the same initial material and just go, if they're allowed to be creative with it, just go. And it's always so different per person. It's really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is. I think I'm getting the 3rd one back this weekend. So I
cool.
cannot wait. And
Nice.
we've got people in Richmond, New York,
Mm-hmm.
Aspen, LA, and Portland. So
Nice.
people from all over the country.
That's so cool.
Would be cool.
Is it going to be up on your website? Where's it going to be?
Yeah, we'll do a big release push. I'm hoping, I mean, I'm just waiting on getting Trent back now, and Tatum's working on a million things, and
Mm-hmm.
we want to have to promote it properly once I have like a exact. I'm thinking it'll be April,
Mm-hmm.
um, and it
Cool.
might be May, but it'll be. I'll promote the hell out of it on all
Cool.
my social, and
So we won't
it'll
miss
be on my
it.
website. And yeah, it's gonna be cool. I've been working on the artwork for it because I love doing album art
Nice.
for my projects. Like it's like capture the vibe of the music in a different medium,
Yeah.
and so like it'll be like super color block, like primers, and then
Mm-hmm.
our logo in that, and I guess our mascot for that band is a kangaroo with
Yeah.
sunglasses, which if you
That's
listen to
like
the
on the
music, I
on
think
your website. You can see it, right? I think I've seen the
yeah,
art. Yeah.
exactly.
That's really cool.
Yeah, totally. Like be like color blocked versions of those,
Nice.
which is cool.
That sounds fun. That's cool. Let's see.
Yeah.
Just looking at the chat here. Oh, I wanted to ask you, what's something that audio engineers might do or say that, like, from your perspective as a musician, you think maybe they shouldn't do or say?
So, so audio engineers in studio, I struggle to think of an experience where like
Mm-hmm.
I was frustrating. Like sometimes like I've worked with people who feel a little it feels a little impatient, and I like the real
Oh,
like
yeah.
that can mess the vibe up a little bit.
Yeah.
But also like that's pretty rare. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know like I don't know if it's likely gotten to work with people who I've on my own stuff like really specific about who I've chosen to work with, and then
Mm-hmm.
like as a session musician, the vibe is really different, and
Yeah.
it's my feathers ruffled about stuff
Yeah.
in that
You're not as
role.
invested. You're
But
just there to do the
right,
job. Yeah.
I want to do a good job, and however they want to capture the sound, that's not
Yeah.
my that's not my decision, and so
Right.
I'm not going to be in anyone's face about not my that's not what I'm supposed to do there.
Yeah.
That's not that would be annoying if your
Yeah.
session player was just like spouting off the different miking techniques. Like that's not my job. I'm just here to play the sax part. but but I think like live sound, especially as a flute player, can be like so frustrating.
Oh, yeah.
And my Audix pickup is great because there's very few feedback issues with it, just because of
Mm-hmm.
the way Audix manufactures their mics. Like it's really close. I don't know the technical term for it, but like
Mm-hmm.
it only picks up the stuff right there.
Oh,
So
yeah. It's like
like
very directional
it's
or
not
something. This
yeah.
pickup.
So
Yeah.
the
I don't know.
it's not actually a pickup, it's a mini condenser.
Oh, okay.
I
Then
just
it's,
call it a
yeah.
pickup because it like snaps onto my flute.
Yeah.
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 Um but it's not piezo or anything. It's actually a mic.
Okay. Yeah.
But
That's the one you
it's,
showed us earlier, right?
yeah,
Okay.
here
Yeah.
I've got it.
Yeah.
This little guy. So cute.
So cute.
But anyway, um I don't have trouble with drums or a lot of electric guitars or whatever, which is a lot of music I'm playing has
Mm-hmm.
that stuff. The stage can be loud. But like I feel like there's just this impulse that sound guys have to like put like reverb on every
Mm-hmm.
flute they come across.
Yep.
And like, no, man, that's so frustrating. Like, please don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, my attitude about reverb, I mean, it depends on the song. Like if I'm recording a song where like the soundscape really calls for like that washy,
Mm-hmm.
vibe, cool, whatever, but like, that's great. But like most of the time, if I'm playing live, I'm playing with like a funk band or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, like a rock band. Reverb on the flute makes it sound like so cheesy, and it's
Yeah.
just like I thought that was a good idea. We are not in 1974 here. Like this is not like
Yeah.
this is not a scene from Anchorman, And so like it's really frustrating, and I feel like sound guys don't do that as much for other instruments, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
something about the flute that just like
Yeah.
I also hate when like, so I use a harmonizer a lot, as almost like an overdrive pedal for my
Okay.
flute. It just like there is like so what I do is I'll have my pickup on my flute, my mini condenser on my flute, and then I'll have a vocal mic because I'm usually both singing and playing flute on the same gig. And the vocal mic will be like my effects mic, so I'll have the harmonizer running through that.
Okay.
And so when I like in a solo and the solo is building, and at the point where a guitar player would stomp on their overdrive pedal, I'll stomp on my harmonizer because I think overdrive is hard to use with the tone of the flute, and I don't love that how that mixes. I love the harmonizer. And then I'll like sound will get loud because I'm on two mics now. That's on purpose because I want to be louder at that point, you know.
Yeah. It's the
And
energy's
I played
building.
this,
Right?
yeah, I played this festival, and the sound guy muted my like one of my mics every time I did that.
Oh
And so
no.
like what I heard on stage was not what people heard. And so the
Yeah.
things I made on stage not make sense in the audio. It was just like he made me look like an idiot because he was too lazy to like adjust the gains properly,
Oh
both mics
no.
properly to get it to work. And it was just like,
He probably
this is
thought
the
he was
worst. I
helping
was so
too.
mad. It was just like, yeah. I mean, and he
Bummer.
could have even told me, like, he could have come up the stage and be like, hey, when you step up to your vocal mic, back up a little or turn my freaking vocal mic down. You know, that would have
Yeah.
been fine too. It
Yeah.
was just like, anyway, so that's a pet peeve. Sorry.
Yeah.
That was a
No,
rant
that's
there.
good. That's good
But like,
stuff.
just like do your job. And the other thing, like,
Do your job.
one other thing, like when the bass is so loud that it's like actually uncomfortable for
Oh
the
yeah.
audience.
Yeah.
Like I was playing a band, Gold Sounds band, and Gold Sounds is kind of like a lo-fi instrumental hip hop slash jazz
Cool.
slash pop group, and we were playing this club in DC, which is a really great space. And the sound guy was like great. This on stage sound was perfect. Like we could all hear it. It was really wonderful. I recorded a lot of it. I went back and looked at the video afterwards, and the bass was so loud that my phone was shaking
Oh
with every
no.
hit. And afterwards people were like, that was, you guys sounded great, but I had to leave halfway through because
Oh
it's like the
wow.
sound guy was standing right there. Like obviously, like
Oh my
can he just not
gosh.
hear low frequencies
Yeah.
anymore or
I
something?
think that's a thing. I really do because you see it with, I mean, just normal consumers too. They crank the bass up. And then it's also like, it seems like a lot of people aren't able to really fully hear the bass or something. It's like, I think maybe you
Mm-hmm.
have to train your brain to hear it or something. And it's a lot of people just don't
Maybe.
do that. And I know, like, with, have you seen those like the equal loudness curves where it's like based on the sound pressure level, different frequencies are heard
No.
at different. So like the human brain
Okay.
picks up on like like 1K a lot more easily than it does like a super low bass frequency. Like we're tuned to hear certain frequencies louder than
Sure.
others. So like bass is one of the things that it needs to be at a much higher sound pressure level for us to even hear it as
Oh,
noise, at
interesting.
the same
Okay.
level. So my theory is like some people just don't, they just struggle for whatever reason. Some people just struggle with it more because I've seen that with
Mm-hmm.
a lot of things.
That's really interesting. I
Yeah.
didn't that makes sense
Yeah.
because
And I don't
like
know if it's
our
like your,
brains are probably,
yeah, I don't know if it's the brain or the ears or what, but some combo. Some combo.
yeah,
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. I think the reverb thing too, I've seen because not necessarily with like flute specifically, but I feel like I hear a lot of mixes where people put on like way too much reverb. And I think
Mm-hmm.
maybe it's like with people that are beginning to mix and they haven't like done it. And like there's fun big reverbs. Like I love big reverbs sometimes, but like I think sometimes people use it as like a crutch to kind of, I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
blend things or
Blend
something.
everything.
Yeah, yeah. And then they do too much and I don't know if it's just my taste is very different from some other people's, but I don't know. I feel like there are a lot of people out there using too much reverb.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
And it's not so much like professional recordings. It's like things on like like websites where people share their mixes for advice type of thing, where I hear a lot of
Mm-hmm.
like reverb that's overkill, I think.
Yeah,
So maybe they're just figuring their stuff out.
Yeah, I definitely. Sometimes I'll record something, like I'm working on this like from the ground up recording of it's for this album of John Prine tunes that's all artists to support the New City Arts
Oh, cool.
Coalition. What's it called? Initiative. I don't remember the last word of that, but anyway, it's basically like funding from in the state, and I recorded a whole bunch of stuff yesterday for it, and I know when I go into that file this evening, I'm gonna pull all the reverb back because I was really playing with. But like, I think sometimes you have to step away and go back to it.
You love it.
Well, no, I was already feeling that way towards the end of it, and I was like, I need to take a break from this because I'm totally self-taught with mixing, and so like it's definitely a trial and error process for me.
Well, that's what it always is. I feel like I don't know, it's a struggle bus. It's always a struggle bus.
Yeah.
I don't know. You just have to do it a million times, and then you slowly realize that you still know nothing, and I don't know what happens. I'll find out, I guess.
I love it.
Yeah. Well, I guess we could probably start to finish up if that's okay. I know I've already kept you for almost an hour, so.
This is great. I mean, I'm not watching football. Football.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was Super Bowl Sunday until yesterday. Just like
Same.
I have no idea. Yeah. I'm showing how little into sports I am. Do you have any like podcasts or shows or books or anything that you would recommend that like have inspired you or you like listening to or reading? Watching,
I'm trying to think. Yeah. I mean, I love watching Adam Neely's YouTube. Cool. That's great. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
I think so. Is that the it's like kind of comedy stuff, right? Or is
it's like jazz bro stuff. It's just like he'll get a bunch of his friends to write a song in Locrian, and they'll like comment on each other's Locrian compositions, or like he'll just like go into like it depends on the some of them are just like basically tour diaries, but mostly it's just digging into jazz concepts, and it's really funny and approachable, and he's great. So I love that. Adam Neely's channel.
How do you spell Neely?
Neely.
Okay, I just wrote it down. That's not what I was thinking of.
Yeah,
but that sounds awesome.
Okay. It is kind of comedy, but like in a very dorky jazz way.
Okay, cool. Sweet.
Yeah, there's this podcast called Song Exploder that I haven't listened to a lot recently, but I love that.
I love
That's super cool. The Jeff Tweedy one, or I guess they were talking about a Wilco tune. That was like, I really got a lot from that. His songwriting process was really interesting, and I really love Jeff Tweedy as a songwriter. So like, it was just cool to get inside what he does a little bit. Mostly I've been listening to like cooking podcasts and stuff. I'm just trying to like stay sane,
stable.
Like Milk Street Radio, that one's great. Nice. That's a great cooking podcast. And I love Reply All, just as like a normal person.
I was just listening to the recent episode when I was doing my makeup before this.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. I checked that out a couple days ago.
Nice, yeah. The one on
it's great.
What is it, Bon Appetit or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I
haven't. A little terrifying, actually, right?
Yeah.
That whole story.
That's sad, but I haven't finished the episode, but yeah. Let's see. Cool. Do you want to mention like your socials, your website, anything you want to?
Yeah. Totally. Well, I'm working on the remixing for Choose Your Own Adventure. That's my funk project this spring. Check it out. My Instagram is like, and my socials like a repository for all the projects. So it's a good place to start. Yeah. And that on Instagram, I'm Gina _Sobel, Sobel. Someone took Gina Sobel and hasn't posted anything.
Lame.
I don't know what to do about it. I should text them and be like, can I have your handle, please?
Yeah, maybe they'll sell it or something.
Maybe it's fine at this point. And I've been putting more up on my YouTube, which is just again /Gina Sobel Bandcamp has a whole bunch of stuff up. My website, Facebook, all the things. I haven't gotten onto TikTok yet. Maybe someday.
I got onto TikTok, but I've made 2 videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Nice.
both videos of my bunny, so nothing audio.
Oh, that's perfect. I love it.
It's fun.
I feel like the duet feature is like made for me. Like I
Yeah.
love just like adding my part to like other people's music. Just like, ooh, I would love to play on this, and like
Yeah.
I'll download the video and like add a part and repost it. Anyway,
Yeah, you would kick
so I
butt
might
at
have
that.
to get into
You
that.
should do it.
I might. That would
Yeah.
just be only duets, like none of my own stuff up there. And then if you want to check out Choose Your Own Adventure, that is CYOA Funk, and that's coming out. Gold Sounds is working on a single right now that I'm so stoked about. It's going to be, I'm really excited. I can't wait. And we're recording it remotely, completely. And you can get to that, I think, from my personal page also.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, this is so cool. Thank you so much for having me on and letting me just talk about.
Yeah, thanks
whatever.
for coming. It's been fun. You should come on again sometime if you want.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
Totally.
Yeah.
I'm down.
This has been a ton of fun. Thank you. Let's see, what else do I have to mention here before I close out? I have to mention the giveaway. So again, I lost my giveaway item. These headphones. Ooh, ah, headphones. Ooh, ah. Ta-da! They're beautiful. They're headphones. They make noise. People love noise. I love noise. You love noise. Everyone loves noise. So that's what I'm giving away. There's a link in the description if people want to learn more about them. I think what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to, let's see, you have to be in the US in order to win because I can't afford shipping costs outside the US. I'm just going to be honest about it. But let's see. I'm going to let this one run a little longer. So what I'm going to have people do is comment on this video on YouTube to be entered to win, and then use the hashtag headphones please within that comment. And then I will enter you onto a spreadsheet, and I'll use a random number generator to announce the winner. And I guess... Perfect. Yeah, right? You think that'll work?
I think it's great.
Okay, cool. And you have to subscribe to my channel, please, to win. That's my other rule.
Love it.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So subscribe and then comment. And then I will announce the winner. I don't know when I'm going to announce the winner, but I might let it go for at least a whole week, maybe 2 weeks. And then I'll pick a winner. So I guess I will pin a comment at the top of this video if I have announced the winner already. And then you don't have to waste your efforts, I guess. Okay, so that's the giveaway stuff.
Awesome.
I'm sorry to bore you with that while I announce all the giveaway stuff here.
No, that's great. I was gonna say, it would be cool to hear you play the theremin. That's behind you.
Gosh,
that's really amazing.
I don't know, man. I'm like at the point where
maybe
I told you this before, but I'm at the point where like my butthole doesn't clench when I try to hit a note.
I love it.
I mean, I could plug it in and like try to play something.
It'd be so cool.
It's gonna be bad though. So you just
it'd be cool.
Brace yourself. Okay, let me get it plugged in. I don't even know if it's gonna like work if I move it. I'm not gonna calibrate it. I'm just gonna play it. All right. Only you could get me to do this.
Ah,
dude. One of the guys that was on this, like, I don't know what it is, a live stream series that I'm doing. He has a theremin. He said, Connor, he's the one. He has a theremin and he leaves it on, and it's like he has one of those countertops that's like a pass through between his kitchen and like another area of his house, I guess. And he leaves it on so when people like pass, you know, oh hey, can I have another drink? And you go, sure, pass me your glass, and he passes it over, and it like makes sound.
Oh my god, I love it. That's amazing.
Like, you know, gotten people with it a few times.
That's awesome.
So maybe I'll just show how it works a little bit.
Yeah.
So I turn it on, and then I'm supposed to calibrate it, which I'm not going to do right now. and it's near a whole bunch of electrical equipment. So just keep that in mind. That's chaos. But for anyone watching, the way it works is there's a volume, like antenna. This one's kind of like a weird loop. And then there's a pitch antenna. And so what you do, now I'm getting nervous. What you do is...
It's going to be great.
When you're far away from the volume, it's louder. Let me see if I can kind of like adjust this here. Yeah. Ish, yeah. So when your hand's far away from the volume, it's louder. When it's closer, it's quieter. And then with the pitch, it's closer is higher pitched, farther away is lower pitched. And this one's kind of fun because it has a pitch correction, so it can make you feel like you're better at things than you are. But then you get like it like shifts to the notes really fast, and it doesn't get that like lovely theremin sound. But it's got a bunch of presets. I'll just kind of, I don't know what I'm doing here. Can you hear that? Okay. Ooh, I'm nervous. My hand's like...
This is so cool.
See, now sometimes it doesn't even go.
Sounds like ghosts. Or what I would imagine a ghost would sound like.
Yeah, and there's like different, like there's this setting which is like, it's called all your bass. I don't know if you can hear me. Am I like, can you hear me? All right. I don't know.
That's so cool.
There's some really fun ones where you can do like a random, like if you turn it back so the pitch correction's all the way off. I just had it up like a tiny bit, but sometimes it kind of snaps more than it should. There are like some fun, let me see if I can find one. Yeah, so this one, when it cuts, I don't know. I need to look at my notes on what I liked already, but
Wow.
it does like some weird fun effects if you like do a sudden movement with it. See, now it's stuck on the pitch. That happens too. It might be because of all the gear.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, now it's stuck. Anyway, that's how the theremin works.
Awesome.
I don't know how to
Thank
play it.
you.
I've been trying to figure it out.
That was
I don't know.
cool.
I don't know. It's fun. I got it to use it for sound effects and stuff. And now I decided to kind of try to figure out how to play it, but it's really frustrating to like actually hit a note, and it's just been a tiny bit every so often. I've been doing it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
That's
one
awesome.
day I'll get better at it.
Cool. Well, thank you for showing me.
Yeah, sure. I don't know. I have like a bunch of notes on the sounds that I like in it and like how to do them. So there are some where if you do like a really quick like up and down with the volume and then you kind of like whir it up, it'll be like do like some cool stuff.
Oh, wow.
So I'm thinking about doing a video on that, but like without looking at my notes, I'm really bad at remembering things. So here we are.
Sure.
This is why I'm not a
It's a lot.
performer, you know? But
That's really cool.
thanks.
I took an intro to synths class recently.
Oh, cool.
And it was all like digital synthesizer. So it was like you downloaded like your synth rack basically, and so you don't actually need it.
Yeah.
And it was cool. It was really fun experimenting with it. And I feel like if I spent enough time with it, I could create some cool sounds that I would want to turn into tunes. But like, I'm very, very away from make it sound like something I would want to share with other people.
Yeah. That's like where I am with the theremin. I don't know. It's just so hard. I don't have like the hand skills. It's so precise. Like if I'm standing at it and I like lean in slightly, it'll change I don't know. It's like when I
That's so
breathe,
crazy.
it moves it sometimes. My hand moves when I breathe, and I don't have the.
Wow.
It's like a form of meditation almost, I think, because you have to get like so still with your body, and
Wow.
I'm not a very good meditator, so. But
Me
it's probably
neither.
good for me to try, so. Yeah.
Cool.
Sweet. Well, what else do I have to say here? Thanks for listening to that awful hot mess. I can't believe that's going to be on the internet now.
Thanks for doing it. I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but I'm also really happy you showed everyone because it's really cool.
Cool. Yeah, maybe I'll do some more interesting stuff at some point with it, but yeah, cool. I guess I should mention all my YouTube things. So I have a Patreon. It's patreon.com/catanoise. We started a book club on our Discord and stuff, and it's been a lot of fun. And so if you want to come hang out and check that out, feel free. We just picked our book. We just finished a book actually, and then we picked the book for that we're starting now, which is going to be, what is it? The Adventures of Mixer Man. Have you heard of that book?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, you like cut out for a second.
Sorry. No, I haven't.
Oh,
Am I
okay.
back?
But
Yeah.
yeah, you're back. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so we're going to be reading that book and chatting about it. So if anyone's interested in that, yeah, it sounds like a cool book. It's like this guy who, I guess he's not anonymous anymore, but when he wrote it, he was anonymous, and he was just talking about like his experience working in studios and like different stories. And I guess he kind of made it into a narrative. So it's kind of partially real stuff that happened, but partially like different experiences kind of like melded together to make it into like more of a narrative.
Oh, cool. Sounds interesting.
Yeah, it sounds kind of interesting and cool. So we're going to be reading that and talking about it every week. Yeah. So someone, David Palmer said the sound of sci-fi right there. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
the Theremin. Sweet. Okay, so there's that. Other than that, if you guys like this, please like, comment, subscribe, say hi, hang out, chat. I like that stuff. And I think that's it. I think we're done. I'm sorry I kept you more than an hour.
This is good. This is
okay.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we say bye to everyone now. So.
Bye, everyone.
Oh, someone just said it's Gina's turn to play something for us.
Okay.
Do you want to play something for us, and then I'll drop us out at some point? What do you think?
Yeah, I'll play a little lick.
Cool. Nice. That was way
Hopefully
better than my
blow the mic
Theremin.
there.
No, it sounded good.
This is like my job.
Yeah, that was.
This is a little clip
awesome.
You can see. This is the
okay, cool.
Clip the mic onto.
That's sweet.
I have mine fixed with painter's tape right now because it's a little bit funky.
Yeah.
But.
Huh. Cool. Well, thank you so much. All right, bye everybody.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
And yes. Okay, I think we're